Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. You join me today once again here at Motech Performance. I think this is the third time we've been here with the M140i for some mods. Today is actually quite a big one. We're getting new brakes for the M140i, and actually a small disclaimer before we get too stuck in. This video is actually filmed before going at stage 2, so the car is actually still running stock power at the moment. I'm yet to have it remapped, but of course when you're seeing this video, the remap video has already gone live. I thought that that's probably the best way to do it, rather than having a stock car and upgrading the brakes first, because then that would probably be a bit obvious about what I'm doing. Anyway, I digress. We're partnering up with EBC to give the 140 discs and pads front and back. So this thing is definitely going to stop as well as it goes. Well, maybe not now, but after the remap, yes. Now we're also doing some other little bits and bobs, which I shall show you very shortly. But I think without further ado, we'll get the car inside on the ramp. I'll introduce you to Mike for those of you who haven't seen anything about Motech before, and we'll get to work. So as you can see, work is well underway. I think I got about 1 million different bits of B-roll. But anyway, hello.
All right, again. Third time lucky.
I know, yeah, genuinely. I was just saying that this is what, the third time we've been up here now.
Do you want to just move in?
Yeah, well, basically, I think my car can just live on the RAM, right?
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, exactly.
So this is what we're here for.
Yes.
I think, well, we've got 3 of the discs on the car now. This must be the last one.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I've never done a brake upgrade on a car before. So I'm a bit unfamiliar with how it all works.
Yeah, the standard setup is all right for road. You know, when you are pushing a little bit on track,
yep.
As you know, the pad and the disc, more so the pad and the fluid in the lines, tends to sort of be a bit weak.
Yep. So
this is the first starting point. So to replace it with the yellow stuff brake pad and, you know, the drilled and grooved disc is the next sort of step up. Before you go, keep going and going and going, we're changing the lines and the fluid and the calipers and what else, this is the biggest jump up you can do, value for money. Mm-hmm. So we're going to use the EBC yellow stuff pad. There's different variations of the pad. They do green, red, yellow, blue, orange, and of course it goes up in temperature. So green's for a lighter car with less horsepower, because it's less likely to push them because of the weight, up to yellow stuff, which is probably the most popular pad that we sell. It's perfect for fast road use and light track. What I mean by light is a couple of years. You know, if you're at the Nürburgring every weekend, it's not going to be any good for you, unfortunately.
No,
so you can't have to work out the pad you want. You probably go for blue or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the good thing about the yellow stuff pad is it's a road pad as well, and that's quite crucial when obviously you're doing an upgrade, because you'll see a lot of stuff online and people say how great a track pad is, but it's not always very good for road. You want that initial cold bite. So when you start the car in October and you drive down your drive, you want it to stop.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the most important
definitely.
thing. So by having the yellow stuff pad, it just gives you a greater sort of range. So instead of having obviously a bit of a drop off and a fade, the pad will keep going. Of course, it has other benefits as well. It helps get rid of heat, and it has an initial bite which is a lot sharper, and it'll feel a lot more progressive. But the most important thing is it still works on a road, because definitely you want to stop.
Yeah, I mean it's going to spend what, 90% of the time on the road.
Exactly that. That's what's good about this sort of setup. You'll see an improvement. You know, your braking sort of capabilities and your confidence on the brakes, even just by light pressure, will just be night and day. You can push harder into the corners, which is obviously what it's about, giving you confidence. But yeah, perfect setup. We've run them on our 1 Series, I know on the M2, it's a popular setup here, so we do quite well. Make sure you bed them in properly. I'll make sure you read the instructions.
Yeah, and actually I think it's definitely worth noting that they won't stay that colour.
No, it's a shame. No, the hubs will. So actually the hub will stay that sort of charcoal grey colour, and actually the dimples and the grooves will always be this sort of darker colour. Yeah. But unfortunately this will go to silver. It would be nice if they were like that, but unfortunately.
It's pretty obvious, obviously, but
it is a coating, and of course you do wear the coating off. Yeah, again, the good thing about the EBC pad is, the good thing is you can see it has a breaking in procedure. So even if you didn't change the pads and you just didn't change the disc, you're just changing the pads, should I say, this has like a different compound before you get to the good quality stuff. So you can almost wear like the crap compound out, if you like, and then before you start to use the good stuff. So obviously one is one shape and one's another. You're obviously replacing both, but the two have got to mate together and obviously make a shape.
Exactly.
So 300-400 miles, bedding it in, light and hard braking, obviously as I sort of said before, and you'll be as good as gold. And you can see the groove, which obviously helps get rid of the gas and the heat, which is the most important thing. And as you can see on here, of course, when you're braking quite hard, you imagine the groove on the pad and the groove on the disc, that's plenty of heat and gas to escape, which is obviously what you want to keep it cool. That's the most important thing, which obviously helps with brake fade.
Yeah, and I was experiencing brake fade when I was on track a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you will be.
Which is obvious. I mean, I did probably about an hour of track time.
Okay,
for
pretty
15
good going.
minute session. Yeah, it was good fun, really good fun.
And how far were we into when you had brake fade?
Probably second session.
Okay,
third session.
That's not too bad on a standard setup.
Yeah, although the second and third session I did back to back, so
it's always those things.
I got too excited.
I don't blame you. Let out and obviously on loose on track. The good thing is with this sort of setup, it's the first step. If you start to get brake fade afterwards, you've got to look at changing the fluid and lines. You kind of got to do things in an order. If you just change the fluid and lines on road, you're not really going to notice a big difference. This is the first step. To obviously get a better sort of feel and a push on the brake pad. But yeah, it's a good setup.
Yeah, and well, pretty much all of them are on the car now.
Yeah, you might need that one back.
Well, yeah, you might need that one actually.
Yeah, that's your rear setup.
Yeah. So, well, the other thing that we're doing today is a little P3 gauge.
Yeah, again, perfect tool for track because it gives you an eye on, you know, temperature, boost, ignition timing, 0 to 60s, all that sort of stuff. But it still works with the OEM vent, so the vent still works in place. I know you're probably going to cut to a bit of B-roll.
Yeah,
now.
It's quite hard to explain without showing it, but
yeah, they're quite popular. In fact, there's a demo one there. In fact, you can see it now, just doing for its rev cycle.
Yeah, there we go. So it's basically just inside the driver's door, that little vent.
Yeah, it replaces the vent. It still works, obviously hot and cold.
Yep.
And it will basically just show you different things. So battery voltage, inlet temperature, manifold temperature. Boost, oil temperature, so it's doing a boost cycle now. It's some kind of demo. Revs, which is obviously quite good for shift lights. And the good thing, it will flash up at you as well to obviously change gear. So when you're on track and you just catch it in the corner light, it will flash up.
Nice.
So it's quite good. So yeah, coolant as well. So yeah, it's quite a good little device.
Sweet. Well, obviously, by the time you're seeing this video, it's mapped, and this is exactly what I wanted for when it's mapped.
Keep an eye on
just
it,
to keep an eye on things.
Exactly, yeah.
But like I said, the car is still running stock power. It is being mapped in probably about 10 days or so, which is very exciting.
Do you know 60s before?
Yes. Oh, we could do a little bit of a.
There's a video between them, or another video.
There we go.
There? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lovely. But anyway, I think we should probably get that out into the workshop, get it fitted, get it on the ground, and well, starting the running in process, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So the work is complete. Now we've started the car up. We're yet to road test it just to make sure everything's all right. But we've got the P3 gauge in action. Look at this.
Yeah, so your P3 gauge is all in place. So it's currently showing RPM. So we'll just give it a bit more rev. So you can see it's sitting. Your right button will always show for different scroll menus. You can have it at different decimals. So basically, it's sitting at 6,600 RPM.
Yeah.
3,200. So top the left one, it will show your peak RPM is 3,870. The good thing about that is it works like a shift light as well, so you'll always see, you know, when it's peaked. The good thing is you can scroll through this to run onto boost and oil, so you'll be able to see when your maximum boost hits in and when it starts to drop off, which is quite interesting as well. So obviously, you know, optimising shift points and that sort of stuff. But P3 all plugged in, works with the original vent, so I can feel hot air coming out of that.
Lovely.
Direct in diagnostic port and off you go. It's also a code reader as well, so when you start the car up, if there's any faults, it'll flash up and tell you what the code is to go find it.
Interesting. And you just use those little buttons there just to just switch through the menus.
Left obviously scroll through, right scroll through, left to obviously show peak.
That's pretty cool. You hear the old intake as well.
Yeah, you can,
Anyway, I'll let you go and road test and everything, and then we'll basically fast forward in time when we're back at my place, and then we'll kind of see what it's like and talk you through a bit more about the running in process, and then we'll wrap the video up there.
Make sure you run them in, it's the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Look after them. It's like going to the gym, you've got to stretch first.
Lovely.
Stretches.
See you in a bit.
No worries.
So there we go, that is all the work done. Car is back from a little road test. Even still, after probably half a mile, you can see the coating starting to come off. So like I said, I've got a pretty much 400 mile running in process, I suppose you can say, bedding in process. And I've got to do about a 100-mile journey on the way home. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward a little bit in time, head back home, and then we can kind of explore things a little bit more and wrap the video up there. But a massive thank you to Motech once again. What's it like to be back in a 140? You probably spend your life in these, actually, don't you?
I do, yes. And if you watch our channel, you might see some more M-Light stuff coming soon. But yeah, no, great cars. I'm a big fan of them, you know that.
Anyway, brilliant. Well, I'll leave Motech's link down in the description as always. But yeah, let's do this journey home, and I'll catch up with you then. You join me now a couple of hours later, probably driven around 100 miles or so now. Getting used to the brakes, it was a little bit weird at first, I'm not going to lie, but I'll give you my thoughts and first impressions very shortly. First though, let's actually have a look at the brakes now that they are a little bit more worn in than what they were up at Motech. So of course now pretty much on the front, I'm not sure about the backs yet, the kind of black coating that was on them for when they were brand new is of course now worn off. Like I said, done about 100 miles now, and we can now see some of the grooves and slats. They look absolutely awesome. And of course when the wheels are, well, maybe gloss black, at the moment they're just brake dust black, then it'll really pop. But unfortunately, I mean, the coating did look awesome when it was on, but obviously that would not work. Of course we do have the yellow stuff pads as well. Might be able to see the little yellow bits in there. They're actually a little bit more visible on the rears. There we go, see them in there. Actually, where's the angle? There we go. And actually the rears are now looking a little bit more silver. In fact, you can see there's still a little bit of coating on them. Of course, they do take a little bit longer at the rear, which is why they kind of say around 400 miles. Let them do some heat cycles, and then after that you can kind of bed them in by doing a couple of very hard stops, and so on and so forth. But my first impressions, so it was a little bit strange at first because, I mean, the brake pedal kind of feels a hell of a lot different than what it did, but when coming to a standstill and kind of when, I don't know, maybe say in traffic at a traffic lights, for example, they're a lot more direct. And of course, I haven't driven the car hard by any means. I will do in a couple 100 miles, maybe at the end of this weekend. And then I'll be able to give you guys a proper run through of what they're like when driven, when driving the car hard. Because at the moment, I'm realistically just cruising, to be honest. Either way though, I am super happy with, well, how it looks, and I'm sure how it will drive when maybe back out on track very soon. Of course, by the time this video goes up, the car will now be stage 2, running around 460 brake. Fingers crossed, that's the number we get. So I think another track day is definitely on the cards. But a huge thank you to both Motech Performance for fitting the parts and also EBC Brakes UK for supplying them. I am so happy, and like I said, cannot wait to rack up the miles on these new brakes. And of course, when we are running a little bit more power, or maybe significantly more power in the future, then a good old set of brakes is exactly what you need. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up from me today. Again, a massive thank you goes to both EBC Brakes UK and also Motech Performance UK for sorting me out the new brakes for the car. Absolutely love them, and like I said, cannot wait to rack up the miles, especially when they're all bedded in. I definitely think a track day is on the cards the more I think about it. But anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.